MA review of the Bonobo experience, weekend in the 17th, 2nd, 19. What did I implement from last week? I went through some of these videos. I went through the first video and what I wanted to do from that, because it's very much about process, what I did, challenges, breakthroughs, dilemmas, that sort of thing, plus the emergence of the project, but very little about the real learning within that project. So I spoke to Caroline and we decided that we'd go through the videos. I did the first one, looked at the first video, and I felt a bit overwhelmed with the fact that I've got to do this 20 times on 10-minute videos. So I'm going to speak to Caroline and see if I can just go through the worksheets, because each one of these videos has got a worksheet, so I am able to just look at, this is what I do, I write this down, I have then got something to work to for this video. So that was what I implemented from last week. Okay, what I did, so looked into research methods, and I've posted that on the learning log, and also I've begun to look into loneliness data, and there's a really interesting paper from the UCLA that talks a lot about loneliness. So I'm going to go through that and start pulling out bits of data that I think that are going to be relevant for working out what it is about the intersection of the bonobo experience, community, and well-being or connection, belonging. That's kind of like where I'm trying to work towards and see where I can focus in on, and that would be it. Who I spoke to? Well, I went to Nottingham with Samisi and Blue Star and Wild Thing. These are all fairies, and we went up to Radical Routes in Nottingham. Radical Routes is an organisation that was established 30 years ago to support cooperatives, housing cooperatives, working cooperatives, and I went up there, and it really has changed the direction in which I want to take my life. I've always thought about getting into collectives. I've always felt a bit overwhelmed by the processes, the paperwork, the day-to-day kind of running of a co-op. But I went up there and I saw and met a lot of people that are doing life very differently to what's happening out in these big cities. And part of doing this MA was really to decide whether I wanted to enter a job in London, which would be around campaigning, using my art as activism, or going in another direction, which would be more of a kind of community, communist, anarchist direction. And having gone to this meeting, I realised that I am in fact feel like I belong to a wider society of people, not just queer people. So that was very interesting, because it's changed the direction I want to go in. And now I want to get involved with the Yellow Brick Road project and try and find some space where we can live together, have some sort of community engagement, maybe care for animals. So that's happened. What did I think about? Again, I thought about planning and learning the learning log. Still confused about the learning log. I'm filling this in, but I am not confident that I'm doing it right. I've also got reflections, which I'm not confident if I'm doing it right. I don't know if I can just condense my reflections into my learning journal and then put that over onto my learning log in my blog on my website. Were there any breakthroughs? Found the research exciting. I liked the experiment and the quasi-experiment examples, but I also liked the myth that I've got around research and around the boredom of going and trying to find stuff out. Is very much dissipating. I think because I grew up before the internet, and I've still got this kind of, you only learn shit if you go to the library, and there's still something that is resistance to try and find stuff out, which is really odd. But yeah, I enjoyed doing that, and now discovering about the experiment and quasi-experiment, it's initiated more ideas around the CHIMP Bonobo workshop that I've spoken about in the past. Okay, overview for the week: challenges, learning log meltdown; uncertainties, learning log meltdown; the struggles, learning log meltdown. So really want to get this right for the lecturer, and I will, you know, but it's just crazy how long things take to drop into some sort of conscious way of doing things instead of just hearing it and not doing it. Okay. Feeling really good about the green gathering. So whilst I was over at Radical Routes, I met a guy called Sean who lives in Huddersfield, and he is involved with the green gathering. So I'm really interested in making something happen with the Bonobo experience of the green gathering. That is it. That was video number 18. All the best, and I'll speak to you soon.